dolphins, as any other being, should be protected and safe in their own environment, in this case, water.
We are on this planet together. They have been here way before us, and they have all the rights to be there, to keep on being there. And they've been part of our culture, especially the common dolphin, for so long.
Everything in the ocean as an ecosystem works closely together, and if you offset one species, whether it be tuna or sharks or dolphins, it disrupts the entirety of the ocean ecosystem. And as most people are starting to wake up to the reality that the oceans are in peril, and if we don't start making better choices and protecting all ocean wildlife, then we're going to find ourselves with more and more empty oceans. And a dead ocean is an ocean that is going to ultimately be the end of us as well.
So the dolphins, it's a species that's very high on the food chain. It's like an apex predator. So this area of the Bay of Biscay, it's their feeding ground. They live here, they eat here, and the problem is there's a lot of fishing activities. There are hundreds of boats every day, and they are fishing in the dolphins' habitat. No one really knows what's going on. What's behind the scenes when we talk about fishing? You have an image of fishing, you have what's in the media, what's in advertising, but that's not the reality. A lot of the fishing happening is not artisanal, it's industrial, and that's what providing, the huge quantity of fish we eat, and that's what destroying the ocean.
I just very, very much wish people would be more aware of the real cost of our living, because in the so-called first world there is this idea that things can be cheap, but things are never cheap. If they're cheap in the first world, it's because somebody else, somewhere else is paying the price for that.
We are living in a world where we know that things go wrong, and at some point of our life we have the opportunity to take a step and make a change ourselves. That's my vision of activism.
I've always been passionate for the natural world. So I guess being here to me is still fighting for trying to get people to care as much as I do. I grew up watching wildlife documentaries, and it was my window to the world. And so I thought, if I got to care so much about animals through a television screen, then maybe other people could as well. So if our cameras act as a window to what is happening here, and it gives people an opportunity to learn about it, and then that will make them fight for change, then I think our job is done.
Being an activist at sea, you're in the first line. You're there where it's happening. But because of my position, I'm stuck in a galley all day. And I'm happy to do that because I know that I'm feeding the one on the first line. And when they come back from hours and hours of small boat, wet, cold and whatever, and they have a warm meal, they're kind of regenerating. And I'm a part of them too. So when they're out of the small boat, they're also here in the galley with me.
Activism is an interesting one because oftentimes the future, not so distant future, looks pretty dark and grim. And I think that's one of the hardest things for activists or people who take an active stand in some liberation struggle, is that it can be very depressing and very dark and gloomy looking ahead to the future. So I just want to be able to wake up in the morning and look myself in the mirror and know that I'm doing as much as I can for tomorrow.
I think it's also part of the job to be able to understand that it takes time. You do not change the world in like 10 minutes. You do not change the world with one video. You do not just change the world with one image. It takes years and it's small steps. So it's about never giving up.
There is a way out, and the way out is stop eating fish and still being healthy, still being happy. I mean, the solution is literally in our plate.